Back on Quarantine with the Falcons. Thanks to Medical Mutual, as always, for helping us out. We have track and field and cross country coach Lou Snelling joining us this time around. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Todd. Appreciate it.
Well, it's, of course, like everybody else, you guys were prepping for a new season, actually. And I think it may have been literally just a couple of days before you were set to begin the outdoor season, right? When things got canceled?
Pretty much. Yeah, we were heading down to Miami, over spring break there. That was going to be the start of our outdoor season.
Well, the bad thing about that, like anybody, you lose your season. That's always bad. But your indoor season had been a very successful one for BGSU track and field. Give us a bit of a recap with your indoor season, because it was outstanding.
For sure. Yeah, we were really excited about outdoors and kind of where that momentum was going to take us, but we did have so many good things happen indoors, from a MAC perspective, point total wise, we tied our highest point total since 1999. It was really cool how we did it in terms of, it was definitely more of a balanced approach from a team perspective this year. Over the last several years, we've been very, very throws heavy, a lot of big names there over the years, Leah and Brooke, just to name a few. But we were still very heavy in that area as well. Caleb Butler winning a title in the MAC weight, so that's awesome. But sprints, jumps, just having a heck of a meet, capped off with the 4x4 win and school record. But also seeing, middle distance group being more involved also. Kat Schubel, fourth in the mile, second fastest time in school history there. So a lot of good things happen.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, that 4x4 school record MAC champion team, all four of those were underclassmen, correct?
Well, they're all coming back next year, for sure. So, and that's kind of the theme. At this point is most of that group is going to be back next year. So we're really excited about, where they can take us.
Well, that's all great to talk about, but your most immediate concern, of course, is the next season upcoming, which for you now is cross country. That's the fall season. Mm-hmm. And when you look back to last year, what were the positives for you from cross country moving into this coming season?
Individually, Czar and Kat were our best at the MAC championships. They're both in the top 20 individually. Kat was the second best underclassman overall in the field. So those are big positives, and we're expecting a lot out of those two this upcoming year. Team-wise, I think we definitely underperformed at last year's MAC championship in cross country. So just taking the steps that we want to take this upcoming fall at Eastern Michigan, just being where we should be as a program.
Now, we asked all the coaches about how their athletes are trying to train during this time, and not to downplay the difficulty for any of your athletes, but it would seem that cross country might be the type of people that might have at least the most opportunity to do it the way they maybe have always done it, or close. Has that proven to be true?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's definitely still challenges in terms of access to facilities, particularly tracks. But getting out has not been awful for us. So we've been able, on the women's side for sure, to maintain a semi-normal sort of track season and training, as much as we can in this situation. Other groups definitely had some more challenges. Throwers, sprints, jumps group, that gets kind of tricky when you're talking about trying to find that equipment and do those things. So it's been kind of a hit or miss there, just depending on the segment of the program.
I imagine that you and your staff are doing like the others, a lot of these types of calls and things to try and keep in contact with your athletes and keep giving them input and coaching. How's that gone for you? A new experience?
Yeah, for sure. I think the quote early on was, I've done more video chatting in those first, couple weeks than I think I probably have in my entire life. So the afternoons were just jam-packed with one-on-ones, with each of the athletes, team meetings in various forms as well each week, just trying to stay connected, academically checking in to make sure everybody's, handling the online learning piece, mental health, to make sure we're dealing as best we can with what we have dealt with, So, and then there's the performance piece and the training and what we're focusing on there.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you checking in with us. So we hope that everything will be on schedule in the fall for your cross-country runners, and that things will be back to normal soon, and that you'll have a great season. We thank you for joining.
Thanks, Todd. I appreciate it. Hey, and while I got you on, just make a quick plug for the Meals for Hometown Heroes. I think this is our last week. Fantastic program. I think Jimmy John's is this week. So if you want to purchase a meal for one of our hometown heroes there, just go to the BGSUFalcons.com, and I think it's $6 a meal or something like that. So very reasonable.
Absolutely. That's a great plug, Coach. Great way to end it. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Todd. Appreciate it.